Three, two, one. We're live, and we're live in Philadelphia for 5am Mester Scrum. Hope everybody's doing awesome today. It is Wednesday, and it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, good morning. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. And it is 5:17 a.m. in the morning, part of 5amMesterScrum, where we talk a little bit about Scrum and Agile and different applications, and whether it be an IT, business, just manage your workload for anywhere, even home. So, good morning. Yesterday I mentioned about the tubing thing, and then I'll talk about my two things today that are Agile. And I hope you're telling all your friends to like and subscribe to our show. So anyway, last weekend, the fun things we did the little fun thing. So remember, there was a little activity where we talk about what was the fun things we did over the weekend, what's our next fun thing, and what's a blocker. And what I encourage everybody to use this as an icebreaker for people in networking events and for activities and for the office. And last weekend we went to Utah for a wedding for my cousin. And on the way back, my wife decided that she wanted to go tubing. So, and that kind of goes for a capacity for change, right? You got to have your ability to pivot or change as you're moving along, because you never know what the opportunities will present themselves. And in this case, I don't know, had a pair of old shoes on, but they were still the only shoes I had for the trip, and let's just say they got really, really wet. Anyway, in business and what we do here and the workload, and what I see is a lot of people doing overcapacity and not giving themselves a little wiggle room. Think of wiggle. You need room in your capacity for those events that come up that could provide you a lot of potential. And if you don't have that wiggle room, you won't be able to take advantage of it. One nice thing on the way back, because we had to drive from Utah, Zion National Park, back to Vegas to catch the airplane. Well, that day, Sunday, we didn't have a lot of things on our list to do. So we decided to take it easy and enjoy it. And it was pretty cool tubing down the Virgin River. The water was really low. Hit my butt a few times. But you have to be able to pivot when the opportunity comes, because we always talk about managers or business need to do something, and or you want to call it the unplanned work, as in the book. I should just plug the book, make some money or something. The Phoenix Project, right? Unplanned work. One of the type of work he talks about. Unplanned work. It was funny. Don't ask me. It just comes to this. I wasn't planning on talking about unplanned work, but that's what it's for, right? Unplanned work that people come down and say, hey, let's do this. So you have to have the ability to go do it, right? So we went tubing. It was a great time, but in sprint capacity, you have to have some space for the unplanned work. If you normally get it a lot, right, you need to have that ability to take advantage of it. Okay, so that's the tubing story. It was fun. We went down the river. It was about an hour and a half just languishing in the river. Recommends suntan lotion, everything, so you don't get burnt. But it was fun. The next thing I want to talk about is it's kind of sprint planning related to capacity, right? And one of the things I always try to teach teams is not to plan for overcapacity or do extra work. I had a sprint team, and I had an Agile coach back when I was younger in the coaching days. Would tell us, like, hey, your team's great. every sprint, very consistent. Boom, 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 boom. Right to the T. We were always 20% overcommitting to work. So, and this is the overcommitment. Now, whoa, who cares? People say, why are you worried about overcommitment? Turns out it's a lot of wasted time and effort. So let's say, I'm going to use round numbers here, so don't kill me for the math. You consistently overcommit by 20% a sprint, and you're very regular at it, right? And we just talked about being able to do a switching, right? Or pivot. So if you spend 4 hours a sprint, we're just going to do math. Let's say 5 hours. Make the math easy, right? Let's say you do 5 hours every sprint. Between sprint planning, I should probably spend more, but between sprint planning, tasking out your work, and probably refinement of your stories, which probably means you're spending a little bit more in a 2-week sprint. Okay, so in a 2-week sprint, let's say we're spending 5 hours prepping for the next sprint. So if you're overcommitting by 20% every sprint, that would mean that you're looking at stuff, 20% more stuff than you're really going to do. In the lean world, you only work on the stuff you're going to do. So if you're spending 5 hours and you're always 20% overcommitting, that means you're wasting an hour of your 2 weeks doing stuff that you're not going to work on, right? Because 20% of 5 hours is 1 hour, right? Yeah. So do you want to overcommit, or you want your hour back? That's what I always tell people. Most people want the hour back, so why would you overcommit? So what you need to do is look at your commitments. You want them nice and tight to what your team can do and not overcommit. Because there's an example. You get an hour back your day. I don't care what you use it for, but you're not working on things. The other thing that overcommitting does, so here's another waste of time. It just multiplies on top of each other, right? It goes boom, 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 boom. So you say, hey, number wise, I lose an hour a week. That's one thing, right? The other thing is, what if the next sprint, your product owner or your business needs you to work on something different? Okay. So yeah, that 20%, some people would say, well, we're going to use it anyhow. So it really wasn't wasted. In fact, it was waste. And the reason why I say that, at the next sprint, they come and change your what they want you to do. You don't work on that 20% of stuff that you had planned for. Therefore, maybe it's another 2 weeks out past that. So the 20% of work you looked at in that first sprint, they went 2 weeks by. They change your what they need priority wise. So that takes another 2 weeks. So it's not another month until you talk about those over 20% that over commitment stuff. So it'll be another month. So guess what happens? You have to talk about them all over again, right? Because people forget what happens a month ago. So not only are you losing an hour, you are actually doing your work twice for that 20%. So the hour you lost, you're doing it again to recuperate, which prevents you from doing other things. So you're actually doing that work twice. So not only you lose an hour, you do the work twice, and you have no pivot space, and you're working your tail off to try to get that overcommitment done, and it causes stress in organization. There's a lot of ways to minimize that, and I think I'll talk about that the next show. I'm going to keep this one short, and just ask everybody, please like and subscribe our website, on our YouTube channel, 5amMesterScrum. I hope we'll do some more stuff, and I hope this was helpful. We're going to be early today. We're going to be at 9:55, just like Sprint. Now go home, go do work. Have some fun. Enjoy your day, and I hope all the best to everyone out there. See ya.